we have some estimations to find out the time required to develop the entire software. Suppose if they want to know what is the budget, pictorial representation of the function point analysis that is going to be determined. The list of employees who are working in the company in the form of a tabular representation. Hello everyone, it is Dr. Ravi Kumar YB. In today's session, you are going to learn about the function point analysis in case of software engineering. What is the meaning of function point analysis? The functional point analysis is a method of determining the time required, that is the estimate of the functions or the code including the testing available in a software project. So that is called as a function point analysis. So these function point analyses are going to be determined with the help of few formulas. Let me take you into the details of those function point analysis in detail now. Now, initially this function point analysis was proposed by Alan J. Albert. It was developed at IBM Laboratories in 1979. Later, it was modified by international function point user groups, also called as IFPUG. Function point analysis is used to make an estimate of the software project, that is to ascertain or to estimate the software project including the testing in terms of functionality or function size of the software product. That is called as this FPA, that is function point analysis. Moving forward in the same direction, you will see that the functional point analysis may be used for the test estimation of the product, that is this. The functional size of the product is measured in terms of the function point, which is a standard of measurement to measure the software application. Suppose I have developed a software application, then how I am going to estimate the functionality of that software product in terms of the testing as well as the development cost. What is the meaning of cost here? The number of lines of code which you have already studied in the previous sessions. On similar lines, we have some estimations to find out the time required to develop the entire software and what is the complexity involved in the development of complete software project. That is going to be estimated in terms of function point analysis. In this function point analysis, you are going to determine the number of tokens used in the program. In the previous sessions, you learnt about the number of lines or in terms of lines of code to determine the budget or cost of the software development. But this function point analysis helps you to determine the complexity involved in the development of the complete software, including the software testing, that is going to be estimated with the help of this function point analysis. In short, I will call this as FPA. Let me take you into the details of it even further. The primary purpose and the basic purpose of this function point analysis, FPA, is to measure and provide the software application functional size to the client, customer, and the stakeholder on their requests. What is the complexity that is involved during the time of development or during the time of testing is going to be determined and given to the stakeholders or to the clients or to the customer based upon their request. Suppose if they want to know what is the budget, what is the cost that is charged to the client, If they want to know based upon the details of the lines of code as well as the tokens that is used in the programs or in the software project, let them go through that by going through the function point analysis. That is the major thing we are going to consider here. Now, it is used to measure the software project development along with its maintenance. Once it is delivered, it has to be brought back to the maintenance. Suppose if there is any changes to be incorporated into the delivered software product, the changes can be incorporated based upon the request of the client. That is called as a maintenance. So, the function point analysis also includes the maintenance cost. So, the consistently throughout the project, irrespective of the tools and technologies, I may use the C# technology, or I may use the Python technology, or any of the cutting edge technologies. That doesn't matter here. That is, the only matter I am going to consider is the tools and technology that is going to be considered for the purpose of software development as well as for testing. All those things are considered here as a criteria for the measure of function point analysis, including the maintenance cost. That is the thing you need to observe here. Then, how these measurements are carried out? We are going to perform the function points of an application is found by counting the number and types of functions used in the applications. On what basis we are going to consider the functions? Functions used in an application can be put under 5 types. The very first type of function is number of external inputs. Example for external input is input screen and tables. Suppose if there is any screen to be displayed to the user and the tables to be displayed to the user, that is called as an external input. Suppose if there is any form which needs to be displayed so that the client can enter the details of the employees who are working in the company, then he can do so by filling the details of the employee in that table, and he can generate the list of employees who are working in the company in the form of a tabular representation. So that is called as the list of external inputs given to the software product. Then, which is the next parameter I am going to consider here? Number of external outputs. What is the meaning of external outputs? Let me clarify you that. Output screens and reports. What is the meaning of output screen? Suppose if I enter some details of users who are using a software application, I can do so by entering their details into the software product. Once it is entered, it has to be displayed in the form of a tabular representation, or it has to be displayed in the form of a report. You may have come across the crystal reports, which is developed for the purpose of generating a reports. At the end of the day, if the banking applications or any of the service applications, service oriented sectors which needs to display the reports of their daily transactions, they can do so by doing the operations of number of external output. That means the external input is the first parameter, external output is the second parameter. In case of external input, the user is going to enter the data into the software product or into the system, whereas in case of external output, the system is going to generate some output to the user so that the users can see what is the processed information that is generated by the software application in the form of external output. The external output may be a report or it may be any of the output screen. Then, which is the next parameter or criteria I am going to consider for the measurement of function point analysis is this one, external inquiries. Suppose you people have seen the inquiry which is going to be conducted. Inquiries includes, suppose if you want to register yourself to any of the colleges as a student or as a faculty, then you can inquire, or Please don't forget, it is an inquire, not an enquire. It is an inquiry that is to be performed by the student for the purpose of an admission. How the inquiry is going to be done? By filling in the registration details, that is the name of a student, the name of a student followed by the percentage that is secured in the previous semesters or in the previous years, that has to be entered there, and finally which is the detail that is supposed to enter inside the inquiry form. All those details must be entered there. Once it is successfully entered, it has to be displayed to the user, that is mentioned in the output inquiry. Now, external inquiries are going to be performed here. For example, prompts and interrupts are the examples of external inquiries. Then we have number of internal files. Internal files include the list of files that is going to be attached along with the message or information, that is called as list of internal files. Number of external interfaces, that is external interfaces, that includes shared databases and shared routines. Let me take one of the examples to illustrate the database and directories. Suppose if you have some of the database like images in your computer, or suppose if you have a Word document or any of the database of information present in your computer needs to be attached with some messages, then you can do so by doing the attachment of documents along with messages. But what about the directories and database which needs to be shared remotely? Then you can do so by doing the operations of sharing the database with one of the user with another user. That is called as the sharing of databases, also called as number of external interfaces. Please note that these are the 5 important measurement parameters that helps you to determine the function point analysis. The function point analysis can be determined only based upon these 5 criteria or measurement parameters, I can call it. Let me say that the first one is list of external inputs, list of external outputs, list of external inquiries, list of internal files, and list of external interfaces. These are the 5 important types of measurement criteria or parameters that helps you to predict the function point analysis. Then in this case, you will see that the other applications, that is EIF, also called as external interfaces. We have internal logical files as well. Now we have users here, users with inputs and outputs, then users with inquiries, then the system internal files, list of internal files. All those details have to be maintained. This is a pictorial representation of the function point analysis that is going to be determined. In the next 10 subsequent slides, you are going to see how the function point analysis is going to be determined with the help of an example. Now let me continue with the discussion of function point analysis right now. In this case, function point characterizes the complexity of the software system and hence can be used to depict the project time and the manpower requirement. As I have already told you at the beginning of this session that the complexity involved during the development of software or during the time of testing or during the time of maintenance, that shall be assessed based upon the function point. These function point includes the time and manpower required to finish the complete software. Then the effort required to develop the project depends on what the software does. What is the functionality of that is going to be done. Function point is programming language independent, that is also called as an independent programming language that defines the function point analysis. In few of the technologies where you will see that Python has some of the libraries. With that libraries, I can define and achieve the desired goal in few lines of code. Similarly, if I have a C programming language, in order to achieve the same desired goal, I need to write thousands of lines of code. So what is the function point analysis in C language with reference to the Python programming language or any of the cutting edge technologies? Then obviously the program with less number of lines has got less complexity than the programs of lines with more number of lines. That is, the complexity is more with respect to the programs which is having more number of lines. Then function point method is used for data processing systems, business systems like information systems. These are the few of the applications that helps you to determine as to how the function point analysis can be determined for various applications like data processing systems and business systems. Then we also have the intelligent systems, also called as an artificially intelligent systems, which needs to be assessed based upon the number of function points defined in the program or in a software product. Tomorrow you may come across few of the robots which works as if the humans are working in certain situations. Then it has to be intelligent enough to interact with the environment. Then it has to be defined in such a manner that it is good enough to recognize people and interact with them very accurately. In order to do that, we need to define many functions in that, and the functionalities of those functions can be determined with the help of the function point analysis. That is the main thing you need to understand here. The 5 parameters mentioned in the previous slide defines the function point analysis. As I have already discussed with you, that is list of external inputs, list of external internal inputs, external outputs, and then internal files. Then we have other inquiries and all those things. That is list of internal files and external interfaces, external inquiries. All these are certain type of criterias that helps you to determine the function point analysis. All these parameters mentioned above are assigned some weights that have been experimentally determined and are shown in table. Let me show you the table in which we are going to calculate the function point analysis of a program, and as to how you can find out the function point analysis is going to be explained there. In this measurement parameter, low is the complexity, average is another complexity, I is another complexity. List of external inputs, low complexity is 7, average complexity is 10, I is 15. So this is the input taken or information collected from a software project. Now we have external outputs 5, which is considered as a complexity with low. Then we have 7 with its average complexity, 10 with I complexity. So we have these details here mentioned here with different criterias. With this information, I am going to calculate the function point analysis. See it here. It is low, simple, average, complex. Now you are going to see that what is the count of that. In this function point analysis, we are going to count that count total star 0.65 plus 0.01 star summation of function point fi, that is equal to count total star CAF. What is the meaning of CAF here? Calculated information, that is the where count total is obtained from the above table, that is from the previous table which I have shown you. We are going to calculate the CAF. CAF is equal to 0.65 plus 0.01 into summation of f of I. In all these cases, what is the value? What is the value? How did you get this 0.65? How did you get the 0.01? And what is this? This is the formula we are going to use here. The information about these terms used in this formula is explained here. Summation Fi is the sum of all 14 questionnaires, and show the complexity adjustment value divided by factor CAF, where I ranges from 1 to 14. Please remember this, 1 to 14 is considered here. The criteria ranges from 1 to 14, that is Fi, where Fi is equal to summation I is equal to 1 to 14, which indicates that F1 plus F2 plus F3 plus F4 plus so on up to F14. These criteria are added together to get the value of Fi. This entire term gives you the value of this, plus these two terms are added and multiplied by count total to get the function point analysis. See here, ranges from 0 to 70 function point. Here in this case Fi. Summation Fi is greater than 0, greater than or equal to 0, less than 70. And CAF ranges from 0.65 to 1.35. Because summation Fi is equal to 0, then CAF is equal to 0.65. When summation Fi is equal to 70, then CAF is equal to 0.65 plus this formula, 0.01 star 70, where one of the criteria is measured by 0.01. That is this point. When it is equal to 0, we have 0. When it is 1, we have 0.01. 0.01. Suppose similarly we have 2, we say that 2 into 0.01. 3, we have 3 into 0.01. Then similarly so on up to 70 turns out to be the value 70 into 0.01. This is how we are going to calculate that. 0.01 into 70, that turns out to be the value which is equal to 0.65 plus 0.7 is equal to 1.35. That is the same range. This is the minimum value and this is the maximum value. CAF ranges from 0.65, maximum 0.65 to maximum what is the value, that is 1.35. This is the range of CAF. Now we have to calculate this. Errors per function point. What is the comment used in that function point? Then defects found per function point. Then pages of documentation per function point. Errors obtained in the number of individuals involved per month for that particular project. Then productivity is equal to function point divided by persons involved in that project per month, that is the number of resources. Effort is measured in terms of persons per month, same thing, PM, persons per month. Then dollar indicates that the pages of documentation we are going to use, that is the dollar indicates that it is a comment that is going to be used in the project is determined with the help of comments per pages of documentation. Suppose if there are 50 pages, and what is the number of comments present in one page, how many comments are present in second page, how many comments are present in third page, all these things are considered and determined with the help of that. Thank you very much. Thank you one and all.